Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Hard West. Alright, so we just saved the Reverend. Let's go ahead and check that out. We did get a little bit of money, but not a lot. And we're going to have more cards to look at here. So we have a Holy Amulet. This gives 50 luck. Okay, and the Reverend looks like he's pretty lucky already, so he probably doesn't need it. Now, he did mention about the bone hand rifle. Alright, gives us a 15 aim bonus. That is actually really good, and it's going to be an improvement over the rifle we currently carry, I believe. Now, it's not scoped, but otherwise it's the same. It does do a little bit more damage, actually a lot more damage. Alright, we also got a rabbit's foot, which is going to give us even more luck. Let's see where we are luck-wise. So, I see Harrington has the worst luck. We also gained a couple other items as well. Oh, wow. So we've got a lot of luck-based items, as well as a Navy gun. The Navy gun is more damaging revolver, but it is only a 5-shot rather than a 6-shot. Alright, otherwise, I think what we're going to need to do is just portion out these different items here. So, I'm going to give the Lucky Horseshoe here. I'm going to give the Amulet to Harrington. And I'm going to give my character the Rabbit's Foot. And then we're going to give the bear figurine to Ashmore here. Reason being is he does not have very good health normally. And let's look at other stats here. Now, keeping in mind that we don't have any cards on the Reverend at all. So our next best shot is going to be Harrington. So we probably want to switch out the Western rifle with the scoped custom rifle. And I'm going to switch out the Borgen rifle with the Navy gun here. And then give the Reverend the Western rifle. Give him Restore Luck over time, which we never use, honestly. And we'll give a Nail Bomb. There. I mean, the Nail Bomb sounds like something that we would use more commonly anyway. Well, technically, this is gonna... There we go. Alright! Let's look at the cards. Looks like we've got one new card. 10 of Diamonds. Plus 5 aim. And an ability that reduces the character's hit points to 1, which is pretty powerful if you have a high health character that's an opponent. I see that we're going to probably end up giving this to the Reverend, as that would equal out his aim with the next lowest, which is Harrington here. So we've got 60 aim across the board. And I think we're pretty much ready to go. It would be nice to have more cards out there on my guys, but we just are a little bit low on that. I think this is the first time we've ever had a party of 4 as well, so that gives us a little bit more of an issue of doling out the cards evenly. Alright, I think I'm happy with the way we're equipped at the moment. Now, the one thing that we need to do for our next part is get 10 ginseng roots. And to do that, we're going to need to buy that ginseng. And more than likely, we're going to want to go to the plantation for that, I would assume. Although the caravan might be another option. We'll look at the caravan and make our decision from there. The Undertaker visited the caravan, a loosely knit group of people who never stayed in one place for long. This was either because they were always looking for new sources of revenue, or because eventually the locals would tire of their scams and inflated prices. For all their faults, however, they had the best supply of liquor, tobacco, opium within 100 miles. All right, let's see if they have ginseng. They do, and it's 11 apiece, which I don't know if that's better prices or not. But one thing we can do is we can trade some of the weapons we don't any longer want. It looks like some of their prices are pretty inflated, but other of their prices are probably fine, from what I can see. Like their food prices are way high. You know what? What I'm going to try and do here, yes, they have enough ginseng. I'm going to go and see what the plantation has to offer for us. Because I don't know if I like those prices. Okay, they actually were good. So let's go and deal with that. And we're going to have our day end, so we're just going to feed people here the minimum. I don't really see a reason why to feed them extra, because you don't, from what I've seen, you don't know when you're going to have combat. So what's the point, really? One thing I wanted to check, though, is do we still have the that bonus to our people for doing that thing with the ghosts? So that's one thing I want to check. Okay, so unfortunately the prices went up because of a new day, so our indecision cost us. But we're gonna have to see if we can buy it with what money we have. So I want all 10 because I need 10. And I'm going to try and sell the Borgen rifle here, which means I need to probably sell more things here because we're not going to have enough cash. So Mandrake root, I'm going to sell. I'm also going to sell the coca leaves. And I think we're going to have just enough to trade. Alright. Well, we lost out on that deal, unfortunately. Had to pay a little bit more than I would have liked. But we got it in the end. Oh, I did want to check that. Do we still have the bonus? Looks like we do. Do we have it to even party members that weren't there? Okay, so we don't get it for the Reverend because the Reverend wasn't there at the time we did it. Okay, that's interesting. So let's go ahead and go to Red Coyote. The posse encountered a wounded man in a torn Civil War uniform. Delirious, he seemed to think he knew the Undertaker and kept calling him Thomas Marshall. He spoke of war spoils hidden in our safe, assuring the Undertaker that it was secure inside a rotting oak at the base of a hill in the southeast. He said the clerk who last changed the combination vanished, though rumors said he was hiding in the mountains. After sharing his story, the man looked relieved, as though he had just relinquished a heavy burden. His breathing became slower as a placid smile stole over his countenance, however you pronounce that. 10 minutes later, he was dead. The party arrived in front of an Indian teepee. I think we've already seen this part. So we're going to give him the... we're going to go ahead and give him the ginseng. Red Coyote accepted the tribute, but it didn't seem to improve his demeanor. He snarled something about proving their mettle and hunt for a bear with a broken skull. Okay. So, we kind of have a side quest here. He said something about something in the southeast. So, this is the safe location. But, we need to search in the mountains for the man with the combination. So, we're going to probably kill two birds with one stone here. Either encountering the bear or encountering the man with the safe combination. So, let's go for that. The Undertaker discovered a waterfall. A human skeleton lay at its edge, stuck on a rock. An old worn-out purse was still attached to his belt, and it held a gun tightly in its dead fingers. I'm going to take the purse because I'm worried that that's where the combination is. Picking up the heavy purse disrupted the skeleton. Its arm broke loose and disappeared into the water along with the weapon. Alright, so we got cash. You know, it is what it is. We'll go to the next location here. The group met a wandering salesman going by the name of Rusmantia, though everyone called him the Russian. His wares consisted of so many oddities and luxuries, it made one wonder about their former owners and whether they were still alive, so we could trade with him. I believe we had kind of encountered this guy before. I could be wrong on that, but as far as I can tell... so far, nothing really all that exciting. Outside of maybe this Coyote mark, which... And the bone amulet would be nice, but I'm not going to buy any of these things, honestly. I already have trinkets for everybody. Ooh, I accidentally selected something. And I don't think we need the food at the moment. I know we have 4 party members now, but that's going to last us for 6 days, so I'm good with what we have. Yeah. So that overrode the location, I believe. Okay, the group encountered a giant cave, no doubt home to a host of bats, spiders, and snakes. Near the entrance, next to the burnt-out fireplace, lay a corpse. The man had an official-looking attire and had clearly died of cold and hunger. Harrington found a note in his inner pocket. Keechum, I'm worried rebels will attack the bank. Be sure to change the safe code to 3232. Alright, so that's the combination that we were looking for, and I'm going to make sure to write that down because I am not sure that it will give us a reminder. So it's going to be 3, 2, 3, 2. And I'm going to go to the safe next. If this is not the bear. So we can enter the cave without lighting our way, or we can enter the cave with lighting our way. That sounds like the more intelligent things to do. Moving in the darkness revealed gold nuggets in a big bag marked with strange symbols that contained 2 bullets. However, the light seemed to enrage a flock of vampire bats, which now swept down on the posse. Everyone escaped, but they were bleeding from the bites and worried they contracted some sort of disease. Alright. So we've got a couple people having afflictions here. And I have no idea how you get rid of these things. We should have gained an item here, though, which is cursed ammo, which does more damage. And I'm thinking that it also reduces the luck of whoever uses it, though. This is actually a tough call because with the Reverend, this cursed ammo would really help. But it might even be better on Harrington here, as his weapons don't do that much damage. But the luck, he's not a very lucky guy already. So that's actually a tough call. I mean, the damage is very valuable. What I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch out the Navy gun. You know what? I lie. I'm gonna give the cursed ammo to him here. I know that's gonna make his luck crap, but it is what it is. Because I think he has a better weapon combination for that. Okay, let's look at our cards. So we get a new card, Jack of Hearts. This is a bonus to 2 defense. So at the moment, Ashmore has the worst defense. But can we get a better hand? If we give it to Harrington here, he will have a pair, which gives him +4 movement, and that will negate some of the negative penalties we got from this. Although we do have -10 aim now. Honestly, what I might do, actually, because of that -10 luck, I mean -10 aim, is I might end up doing this. We're gonna have to switch out the weapons. But this way, he has a better aim than Harrington at the moment. Because Harrington got that penalty. So that's why we're switching. We might switch back if that penalty goes away. Again, I have no idea how to make this thing go away, though. Okay, that's going to be that. Let's go to the safe, because we do have the combo. Alright, after hours of searching, the posse found the place. The old soldier had spoken of a rotten oak at the base of a hill. Excited, they looked inside the tree. There it was, a giant steel safe full of treasures plundered during the Civil War. It had a round, rotating 3-step lock. The code consisted of 5 rotations, each in alternating directions. Alright, so we'll just read the letter. I thought it said 3232. That's not 5 combinations, but do that. Okay, so there's one code missing, right? So 3232 something. So let's attempt to crack the safe. So the first one is going to be 3. The next one's going to be 2. The next one's going to be 3. Next one going to be 2. And we'll just try for the heck of it. We'll try 3. But, I mean, this last digit, it's going to be one of 3 digits. So let's try that. Code was wrong. All right. Let's try and crack it again. But we know that it's going to be, I mean, there's only a couple other possibilities now. So we've got 3. 2, 3, 2, and we'll try 1. There was a distinctive click as the safe opened. The soldier had been right. It was full of treasures. They took it and left hastily. So is that all we gained? Was just 200 cash? Alright. Now that that's been accomplished, is there like a doctor or something? Because I really hate this affliction. Fate trader, no. Plantation, gunsmith, town, bridge, opium den, railroad, abandoned wagon. So no was the answer to that. I'm going to go to town. Let's see if there is anything there. Alright, so we have to figure out who's going to eat. So we're going to do everybody one. Alright. Alright, the town was a loose collection of decrepit plank houses. Fall town locals were rare and sour for sight. Oh, I remember. The railroad station had a pharmacy. So, let's leave. I remember that now. Okay, so we need to go to the railroad station. There's a pharmacy. Alright. Meddix House. Alright, we got it. Med quickly got to work cutting, sewing, and smearing wounds with medication. Alright, so we figured it out. No big deal. It's a good thing we encountered the railroad, because otherwise I wouldn't have remembered that. Or I wouldn't have known that, honestly. Alright. Oh, we can get on the train, too. Alright. Let's see what we got. So now we have a decent amount of cash. We might be able to afford some of these things. Like, for instance, the bulletproof vest. Which I think is honestly a great item. Otherwise, the only real thing worth getting would be the double precision rifle, which would be fantastic, honestly. It gives you 2 shots per turn. And it's scoped. Now, that's not as good as the scoped custom rifle, which gives you a 10 aim bonus, but the 2 shots might make up for that. You know, I'm not going to take it, though. I think I'm happy with what I have, but I am going to end up buying a bulletproof vest, I think, because the Reverend here, it's better than the bear figurine. Going to give him defense and hit points. So, I think that's a good move. So let's go to our normal items. Get a bulletproof vest. And we got a medical bag. And then I'm going to go to the Reverend. Should we sell the bear figurine or just keep it? I think I'm just going to keep it. That's something we can do things with later, maybe. And it doesn't sell for a whole lot. Let's trade. And we will give the Reverend the bulletproof vest. Okay, pretty happy. Let's... Oh, and I want to switch around some of the items as well. So get that and that out. And then we will take the scope rifle, the 6-shooter, and we will take the cursed ammo. Okay. I think that's going to be our loadout for now. Honestly, we were like swimming in things, items anyway. Let's go here to finish off our quest. A giant of a bear with a festering wound on its head charged furiously towards the Undertaker. Undertaker managed to kill the monster and cover its skull. An old rifle bullet was lodged in the dead animal's eyebrow. I was kind of hoping that would be a fight. Alright. There had been a landslide here that uncovered seams of unique minerals in the bedrock. Some said they never were blue... Some said there never were blue stones here. Others said looters had depleted the deposit years ago. Dense fog obscured the area. The posse's arrival started a coyote which ran off with something in its mouth. So we get a food portion. Alright, let's do that. They set up bait and waited behind a rock. When the animal approached the meal, they tried to shoot it, but the coyote was too fast to snatch the food, but left behind a strange medallion. Alright, so we lost a food portion. And we gained an ear necklace. Great. What this does, I finally figured out what heat is. Heat is... when you go to subdue somebody, it's how many turns they're subdued. So this scares them, more or less. It's how scary you are. So it's based off of how you equip your men. So some men are carrying more scary weapons than others, or are just naturally more scary. So we gave the Reverend here an ear necklace. He'd go from 3 heat to 5, which means that whoever he subdues would be subdued for 5 turns. It's not really that big of a deal, honestly. And I don't think really worth wasting when you have better items in your inventory. So let's go do the turn-in. The legendary bear skull rolled towards Red Coyote's feet. The shaman nodded slowly and began an eerie chant. He smeared the blood from its wounds onto the Undertaker, threw some of the red dirt at him, and began dancing and chanting. Finally, he fell silent. The shaman assured the Undertaker that his burden should now be eased. The gravedigger wasn't convinced. Okay. We did get 3 food portions out of that, though. Posse came across a very peculiar man who walked slowly and clumsily and stank of death. The cards sewn in his clothes read, Severin Graves. The man walked straight up to the Undertaker and handed him an envelope. When asked about the contents, he pointed towards his sewn-shut mouth and walked away. Okay. A letter in the elaborate script read, I hear you are trying to find me. I am told you are a handsome man, and I fancy the pleasure of your company. Enclosed are directions to my home. It's a swamp, but a cozy one. So this is the seamstress. I believe that was the last of the 3 that I could contact to try and get rid of the curse. Alright, let's see what this bear thing is. So, we get 5 defense and 4 max health. So, the Undertaker is really tough now. And otherwise, he's the only one that's affected by that. Sure looks like it. So, let's go on. Oh, we also have that card. So, this gives a +5 aim bonus. And it also is a 10. That would give... Harrington 3 of a kind. Also, the aim bonus would probably serve him well, seeing how he is our sniper. Although we could also give it out to try and help the aim of someone else. I'm curious what 3 of a kind does, though. Alright. Oh, actually 2 pair. Yeah, 2 pair. I apologize. That gives you 10 defense. So what's better, the movement or the defense? I'm probably going to argue defense in his case because he doesn't have a whole lot of luck. I'll stay with that. Seems like an interesting combo. So we've made our 2 noteworthy characters very powerful. Alright, so one more location to go to. Down here to the seamstress's hut. Let's go. Group arrived at a hut made of rotting planks and moss. Dozens of candles lit the interior in a cozy fashion. The walls were decorated with herbs and jars filled with eerie specimens. They were greeted by an elderly and attractive dark-skinned woman. The seamstress seemed to know why they came. She explained that to help them, she needed a lock of hair from someone who died in the massacre. Alright. Let me just check something real quick. So we did end up getting a card, which is the Nine of Clubs, which allows us to be a cannibal. This is going to give one of our characters increased health. And it is a 9, which I don't think really matches anything else we've got. So we're not going to really make a hand out of it. So it's either give it to the Reverend or give it to Booker Johnson. I'm thinking Booker Johnson, as the Reverend already has 7 health from the Bulletproof Vest. And, oh, also, we gain that doctor's bag. So that might be something we want to take with one of these guys to heal. So we'll take the medical bag. There we go. And now let's go to the ghost town. And I am hoping we have a fight here. This has been a scenario with very little fighting so far. Alright, so we have to eat. And again, we're just going to do the minimum. Now, we could eat extra here if we think combat's going to happen, but again, I just really don't see the point of that, especially if this is going to go on longer. I think it's better to worry about the stuff, worry about the future anyway. All right. The Undertaker sat among the graves of his dead friends and enemies. His prayer wasn't religious. Well, we read this before. Okay. So we want to exhume one of the bodies to obtain a lock of hair from one of the curse's victims. The Undertaker couldn't bring himself to exhume his friends. Instead, he uncovered Bloomberg, a local gambler and perfume aficionado. His body was a foul-smelling pile of rot. With a grimace, the Undertaker retrieved a lock of hair and reburied him. The Undertaker sat among the... Alright, we already read that. I don't think we gained anything new. Doesn't look like it. Alright, now that we've done our little fetch quest, let's go to see the seamstress. Alright, the Undertaker presented the old seamstress with a lock of hair. The witch mixed the hair with herbs while muttering spells in an unknown tongue. She spent many hours at it before giving up. She said she had never seen a curse this strong. It was as though it came from the Lord of Hell himself, which it did. She knew no way of lifting it. Before the Undertaker could reply, the seamstress touched Harrington's forehead and he fell unconscious. When he awoke, his aging eyesight was rejuvenated and he felt reborn. Okay, so I'm going to assume that Harrington now has plus 20 sight. Okay. We also gain a card, which is Scavenger, plus 10 luck. Maybe we want to swap out something here. So we've got aces, queens, jacks. So we can get rid of a jack or a queen, in my opinion. But we already have a pair of jacks, so we'll get rid of the queen and give him the ace of diamonds here. The reason being is I'd like to get his luck back up, considering he has a penalty from having the cursed ammo. He loses a little bit of movement, but I think that's okay in the end. And we gained 2 pair as well, so we now have 10 defense. Alright, so now we have to go talk to the hermit. Alright. So we're going to tell him about the unsuccess of the removal of the curse. The hermit smiled mysteriously, but did not reply. The Undertaker begged, pleaded, cursed, and threatened, but Empus was impenetrable. Resigned, the gravedigger decided to return to Ghost Town and take his own life to avoid causing any more harm.